the crypto. In case you don't know. It's the hedge new inflation, the crazy sweep on the nation. The baby every blockchain and created.
Woke up late, charts on fire, red and green like a funeral pyre. Discord screaming LFG, but my portfolio's haunting me. Spiked my coffee with regret. Last night I longed to break out bet. Now I'm broke, not broken yet. Just one more pump I won't forget. Buy high, die hodling. The gen brain dopamine's controlling. Ride the whale, get wrecked clean. This crypto dream's a guillotine. Fake guru with 1,000 subs showed me coins in shady clubs. Promised moons, Lambos and jets. Now I'm left with JPEGs and debts. Scalped my soul in a 5-minute chart. Market dumped and it ripped my heart. But I'll reload, I'll play to win. Even if I lose it all again. Buy high, die hodling. Gas fees burn, but I keep rolling. Almost God creates the king. This crypto dream's a punk rock thing. Time in hands with the crack in the glass. Risk it all, no brakes, full gas. Liquidation, call me sweet. Whisper welcome to defeat. No stop loss, no regrets. Code and chaos, no safety nets. Satoshi's ghost in my DMs told me to ape again and again. Buy high, die hodling. Gas fees burn, but I keep rolling. If I crash, at least I tried. In this wild west of blockchain rights. I'll be trading till the lights go out. Charts are noise, but I live for the sound. One candle spike, and I'm back in town. Crypto's a fight, and I'm 10 toes down. Diamond hands with the crack in the glass. Risk it all, no brakes, full gas. But I'll reload, I play to win. Even if I lose it all again. Woke up late, charts on fire, red and green like a funeral pyre. Discord screaming LFG, but my portfolio's haunting me. Spiked my coffee with regret. Last night I longed to break out bet. Now I'm broke, not broken yet. Just one more pump I won't forget. Buy high, die hodling. The gen brain dopamine's controlling. Ride the whale, get wrecked clean. This crypto dream's a guillotine. Fake guru with 1,000 subs showed me coins in shady clubs. Promised moons, Lambos and jets. Now I'm left with JPEGs and debts. Scalped my soul in a 5-minute chart. Market dumped and it ripped my heart. But I'll reload, I'll play to win. Even if I lose it all again. Buy high, die hodling. Gas fees burn, but I keep rolling. Almost God creates the king. This crypto dream's a punk rock thing. Time in hands with the crack in the glass. Risk it all, no brakes, full gas. Liquidation, call me sweet. Whisper welcome to defeat. No stop loss, no regrets. Time in hands with the crack in the glass. Risk it all, no brakes, full gas. But I'll reload, I play to win, even if I lose it all again. Woke up late, charts on fire, red and green like a funeral pyre. Discord screaming LFG, but my portfolio's haunting me. Spiked my coffee with regret. Last night I longed to break out bet. Now I'm broke, not broken yet. Just one more pump, I won't forget. Buy high, die huddling. The gen brain dopamine's controlling. Ride the whale or get wrecked clean. This crypto dream's a guillotine. Fake guru with 1,000 subs showed me coins in shitty clubs. Promised moons, Lambos and jets. Now I'm left with JPEGs and debts. Scalped my soul in a 5-minute chart. Market dumped and it ripped my heart. But I'll reload, I'll play to win, even if I lose it all again. Buy high, die huddling. Gas fees burn, but I keep rolling. FOMO's gone, greed's the king. This crypto dream's a punk rock thing. Time in hands with the crack in the glass. Risk it all, no brakes, full gas. Liquidation, call me sweet. Whisper welcome to defeat. No stop loss, no regrets. Code and chaos, no safety net.
Sorry guys, my goodness, my computer was being yeah, basically a same problem I always have. I seem to leave too many tabs open and it takes up my virtual memory, and it just, yeah, it takes forever to get everything to running again. Let's switch over the screen share. There we go. How you guys doing? I appreciate you guys waiting. We got Yakoma, how you doing? Faker, Noah, Melissa, Dax, Sterling, how you doing, Sterling? Bull Runner, how you doing, bro? All right. So we took that Ethereum short yesterday, and unfortunately, some people did get stopped out. I was fortunate enough to be one of the few that did not. I gave during the signal, I notified people that I put my stop loss at yeah, 4,390, and yeah, I just got about, I think it was about $6, about what Chow would say from our community is like about a half a meal away from getting stopped out. It was pretty close getting stopped out. But yeah, we had like another like a little SFP, and then we fell down, got that change of character reaction, and then yeah, ended up hitting our conservative target. I got out on the a lot of people just got out on the conservative target, which is like roughly around here. I got out on the reaction that we were going to come back up. So I wanted to see if we would hit our bear flag measurable target, which is down here at 4,080. And we're still kind of on our way. We had another opportunity for people to enter here. We had a reason for people to enter here as well. It'd be like a Fibonacci pull from here to here. This is like your golden pocket. But yeah, and we had lost internal momentum here and started to come down, lost VWAP, hit our head off the previous point of control, got another break of structure, and now we're kind of like riding along this buyer's momentum level, but it's not looking like it's doing very well. We kind of got a little bit of a deviation away from this previous value area. We swept these lows. If we switch over to like the 4-hour time frame on Ethereum, we could see that we have an opportunity that could occur here for like an SFP, but we got about 2.5 hours before that would even confirm. Otherwise, yeah, we can still predict that our bear flag measurable targets, like the momentum-based target, is going to be likely hit at this previous point of control. There is demand there. Let's make sure you guys are able to see everything properly. Yep, okay. There is demand here that we can prepare for a potential bounce alongside the confluence. It's like here. So here's the demand, right? So whenever you see like that impulse move up, base, break a structure, impulse move up, there's a chance that we could hold this as a form of support. The only additional confluence we have here, though, is that it's a brief undercut to like the psychological area, like a psychological key area around $4,000, and a previous point of control here. So there's some stacking confluences, but the more important one, if we zoom out on the daily, is this horizontal key level here that we've been using as like a strong level of resistance previously, and that we can come down and have it act as a form of support. And from here, so we could anticipate a potential bounce around this area. If we, we just got to wait for the structural evidence that's actually going to be honored as support. You can't just assume that it is. We'll see what happens. But basically, I'll be looking for like that 15-minute to an hour change of character reaction, depending on what the structure looks like at the time, around $4,000 before anticipating any form of reversal. If we stay within this descending channel and not just free fall down, we could see this like act a bit of like a little aged, but it kind of has the same kind of behavior as like a bull flag. But for me, I just be looking at this like as potential. If we do get that like reversal around here at these lows, I'll be looking for the liquidity grab back up to these highs again, and potentially get a new all-time high while grabbing that liquidity. But we have a lot of barriers that were created along the way, so I'm not too hyped about it. We'll see what kind of structural evidence we have down here. But yeah, around 4,000 to 4,075, I'm going to be preparing for longs on Ethereum, like short-term scalps. Going to Bitcoin, because we haven't even touched on Bitcoin yet. We have the chat. JB, what's up, man? Chad, how you doing, bro? Paula, Soul Train, how you doing? Coma got stopped. Oh, sorry, man. Tradefly, how you doing, bro? Wick's wife fine 89. Nice name. Yeah. Oh, my computer has been terrible. Like I'm considering an upgrade soon, because like or maybe just a replacement of some sort. I'm just gonna need to defragment and wipe some stuff on the computer. All right, going to Bitcoin. There we go. So yeah, we're losing, similar to Ethereum. All right, we're losing this downtrending momentum, buyer's momentum here as support. We lost the 50-day EMA, which is, in my opinion, a little bit more important. We lost that. We lost a previous point of control simultaneously to that. We kind of built this almost like a head and shoulders, but it came in from a downtrend. When you see a head and shoulders like this and it comes in from a downtrend, just know that the likelihood of it hitting a measurable target is dramatically reduced. But in this case, it's actually kind of like working out. For me, a huge key level, similar to Ethereum's 4,000 key level, 112,000 is really important for Bitcoin to hold in order for us to consider us staying in this potential range-bound price action from like here to here, right? We could induce a range here. And like I said yesterday, there's a possibility that we could fill this negative space to our broad momentum, and it would suggest that we'd be ranging for about 60 days between 112K and 125K, which sounds a little far-fetched, but that's what Bitcoin's been doing lately. It's just been stabilizing every time we create new highs, shaking out retail, as in institutions just buy up everyone's Bitcoin until hype continues, and then we use retail pretty much as exit liquidity for the massive wave up. I'm going to see how the REPL chart has adapted. Looks like we got, yeah, it's right now it's at around 1.27 on our REPL chart. And that was the last, oh, let me just zoom in over here. Yeah, the last data set, yeah, okay. Nothing's changed since yesterday. It hasn't adapted through its API. Yeah, I'm gonna consider subscribing to Glassnode so I can give you guys this data faster, and that way you guys don't have to worry about subscribing yourselves. I can just pass along the information and do the TA for you. But yeah, we're pretty much at the same spot that we were yesterday. This is going to, once it adapts and gives us the data, it's going to show us this number lower. As the price action goes down, the RPL chart goes down with it, reflecting that there are less holders holding in a profit. It kind of syncs with the communication with the supply and profit and loss chart, where it gives us a percentage-based supply in profits or losses. So here, last time we got the update, like I said, yes, yeah, 117K is the last updated price. It was like a 5% supply holding at a loss. So I'm anticipating that it'll probably be close to like 8 or 9% at the current price for the supply being at a loss now. Kyle, I lurk in Alex's premium as well. Thanks for the knowledge. Oh, no problem, man. Treefly. Isn't ETH about to do a 30-minute SFP? Let's find out, man. It's a possibility. So this is the 30 minutes. No. It doesn't look like we're going to even get a legacy SFP, so it might be a little higher time frame. So let's look at the... This is the hourly. No, we might get a tweezer reaction. 4 hour. There's a better chance of getting a 4-hour SFP than there would be a 30-minute or an hourly, because the structurally we don't have. Yeah, we've already got like the full body candle close below these previous wicks, and our most recent local wick for an SFP would have been here, but instead we got that break of structure, right? That's what an SFP technically is. It's just an invalidation to a break of structure. So you got to make sure you have the same break of structure rules for an SFP. And we got that when we had a pullback of at least 2 candles. So here we got that break of structure, but yeah, no SFP on the hourly or 30-minute. But yeah, we're pretty close to a 4-hour, so good call on looking out for that. We're sweeping these lows here. So we just need to... I would like to see a close back above this body here for that higher probability chance of getting a return back up to sweep this liquidity. And I don't think that will be the end to the downtrend unless we got a change of character reaction. But you could prepare for a potential front run of that. Let's see what we have. Alex, let's see. I went into a short at around 115K based on the rules of the Ichimoku cloud, and I saw in a higher time frame, 15-minute, that there is a head and shoulders. It could get down to 112K likely, right? I did see that head and shoulders that you're talking about. The measurable-based target suggests that we've already hit our target, or really close to it. So yeah, I would say like if we're gonna go to 100, like 112.7 based on the measurable base target, or 112.6, that we're likely just gonna hit 112. Like there's not much holding us up other than like this potential liquidity sweep right here before hitting around 112. I figured if we're gonna take this, we're likely gonna come down and take this here, and just sweep this low. So I'll be looking for a legacy SFP from here and hopefully get that long. So what I would look for when it comes to like legacy SFPs, they're usually stronger than like regular local ones, unless the local one is at a really strong key level. Like I would want to see a sweep that low and come up close within the internal range and not have a body close below here. So just a wick, come back up, close. And then I'll look for a previous pullback as my primary first target, and then hope for the break for the continuation and the change of character to start taking liquidity from like these highs. But if we do get that 4-hour SFP that, what was the name? Let's see, yeah, someone mentioned a potential SFP occurring here. If we do get that SFP instead, we might delay that drop and come up here and take liquidity first before coming down. We have a fair value gap here to here. So we could come up, fill that gap, hit our head off the VWAP, and then come down. And there's some decent confluence there. With fib, we have a gold pocket right now around that VWAP. But the VWAP might catch up before we even get there. But yeah, 112K, it's a good place to wait. If anyone, especially if you're like a one-dimensional trader, just looking for longs, it's a great place to wait for a potential long opportunity. TradeFly, you should ask them for an affiliate deal. It's free marketing for them. Are you talking about our affiliate program? And we do offer 50% recurring income. If anyone's interested in helping us grow, yeah, just shoot me a DM. Make sure I'm not, a scammer version of me, like an impersonator. But yeah, shoot me a DM and I can set up your account for like affiliate system. TradeFly, looking at the same thing, 112K. Nice, man. Yeah, I know you knew what you're doing. You're a great trader. So yeah, I'm actually pretty excited for this potential setup. I'm not expecting us to get to the all-time high again with this bounce, but I would love to hopefully long this to around like 116.7 kind of area and see how we perform there. If we hit our head off of this, we'll probably come back down to retest the 50-day EMA, or we might just hit our head off the 50-day EMA and come back down and build more structure. Similar to this, but the placement being kind of like below it. But yeah, I'm pretty stoked. I don't have very much time today. I'm sorry about that, guys. It was a weird day for me. I had to get my driveway. Well, it's a driveway now. Before it was essentially a garden. I had to like mow my. I had to pull out the lawnmower once a week on my driveway because it was in such a bad condition. Now we actually have a driveway instead of a garden. Pi Network Daily, also near all-time lows. Oh, Pi Network is kind of relatively new, so it makes sense for it to be at all-time lows. Kyle, how do you manage emotions and frustration? When I lost all the trades so far, some even stop loss, some break even, some stop loss hit. Yeah, it's a little bit different for everybody when it comes to like managing your emotions. You could do when you're in an active trade and you're worried about your emotions inducing an exit. I recommend like box breathing. And back testing really does help a lot with your emotions. If you have your own core strategy and you understand the percentage-based win rate, you are able to trade based off of logic instead of emotion. If you're entering off emotion, you're likely going to be exiting off emotion as well, like your first red candle going against you or something like that. But yeah, man, it's about understanding the probability of things and realizing that your R&R is going to compensate for your losses so long as you're like focusing on your 1 to 2s or greater, right? The like this challenge that when we started it, like I was, yeah, I don't want to overshare, but yeah, I was going through a hard time in July, and it right when the challenge started. So I do have a feeling that my emotions might have impacted my ability to look left a little bit better, right? So I started off with a little bit of a loss streak. Now we're starting to turn around. A couple of the wins, though, are small wins because I closed at like a 50% area where I thought that I saw things starting to go against us, and then we like hit our stop loss at break even. But now we're starting to get some more heavier weighted wins that are compensating for our losses. So like the account started like $1,000. We drew down to 954, and now we're coming back up to like 990 roughly. So now the account right now is a little, it's just down by roughly around like 1%, like roughly like 1.5% ish. But yeah, I get you, man. Let's see. Oh, you're at a loss in all the challenge trades, are you? Hey Kyle, I'm still in Ethereum as well, thinking about going lower. Thanks. Yeah, good job, man. Yeah, there's some members still in. I know Caliber is still in. You're in. That's awesome. What you kind of want to look out for is an opposing change of character at like key levels. I'm hopeful that we hit this target for you, for anyone who might be still be in this trade. But yeah, if you see an opposing change of character, like it's a good way to get out, or just sticking with your exit plan and getting right out there too. So your R&R is probably doing really well. So congrats on that, man. If you see like a drawback here soon, and then like a lower low and like change of character and acceptance into this previous value area, we could come back up to this previous value area high. But like I said before, we have a fair value gap VWAP in our way, similar to like Bitcoin, where we could hit our head and come back down. But I'm just being patient and waiting for the long opportunity again. Around here for, yeah, around 4,000 for Ethereum and around 12,000 for Bitcoin. Is there a way to automate the back testing, or do you have to track it manually in TradingView? That's a great question. You can automate your back testing on certain types of, on mechanical based strategies. You can't automate strategies that aren't mechanical. And what I mean by mechanical is like something that's indicator based only or structural based only. There's some you're going to need a really good structural base indicator in order for you to be able to backtest it. Like I recommend 11x for their structure based indicators. But unfortunately, there's a paywall for that one. You could use other ones, but sometimes they will give you false changes of character or false breaks of structure. But you could definitely automate them. There's what was a really good automated one? I'll have to get back to you on that. Yeah, I'll bring it up. Just message me in the Discord, and I'll see if I can I'll see if I can remember a way to automate it. But so long as you can make a strategy indicator too, you can also do deep back testing directly on TradingView. So you'd have to like compile indicators together that give signals, buy and sell signals, and then you can do a deep back testing right on TradingView. Otherwise, yeah, manual is the best way to go, especially if your strategy isn't mechanical, where you might depend on external data like liquidity or order books or on-chain data, stuff like that. You can't really backtest that. You can only forward test some of those strategies, actually. Dutchy, this is a real Cautious More. What's up, man? How you doing? Okay. Well, we went through Ethereum, we went through Bitcoin. I've got about 20 minutes left before I got to do a community call. What do you guys want to look at? Any assets or any tools or anything like that that you guys want to go over together? We got Runway talking about a weekly ARB descending channel breakout. Let's take a look at ARB. I don't think we have an ARB chart, but we can always chart together. So ARB. Let's go on the Bybit chart. So there's our hourly one. You're talking about a weekly level. Oh, I see. Yeah. Creeping up. All right, we got that descending channel here that you're mentioning. It was in price discovery on this chart. It doesn't look like it's got the whole historical data. So let me see if I can find a better one. Let's go to Binance and see. Okay, it's pretty close. It looks like we were looking at before. Let's see what kind of trade was that. Is that long? It's a short. That's funny. Why were we shorting? Oh, I see that. Yeah. Cool. And we're just worried about this demand zone along the way, but yeah, fell down. Well, congrats if anyone took that. I don't remember doing that TA, honestly. Let's zoom out on the daily. Do that poll again. So we got this downtrending resistance. Are we on log? Yeah, make sure you're on logarithmic. We got this downtrending momentum here. We are building a double bottom structure. We're close to getting a golden cross. Let's see. Pull a fixed range from the supply that was mitigated here to where we currently are. We're trying to use this valley area high as support, but we are currently failing. We want to see that we got the pullback, but we need to see the higher high to know that we're going to be leaving this valley area. So that's one of many rules you can have for trend-based strategies when we're leaving a valley area and potentially moving to a next, like a new or previous valley area. It's just that break of structure on top of a valley area. Same thing here if we're expecting it to go to the downside, pull back, break a structure. So we'll leave from this valley area and go down to the new one. In this case, if that were to occur, it'll be price discovery. So you're right, it is kind of creeping up towards the high here of this descending channel. We have daily order block here and supply potential evidence right here as well. Kind of really close to tapping it. If you get below that wick, we might just tap the wick. Which will send it back. But this is typically an area where you would prepare for shorts. Let's see, get our momentum. This is the daily, by the way. We're still kind of doing the higher time frame analysis. Valley area high. And we'll just mark the point of control. And then we'll zoom in because there's definitely supply, demand right here that could hold us up to range to eventually push us to the upside. So now I've gone down to the hourly. We had this little demand zone here that got pretty much full, yeah, completely mitigated. So coming down here again, we can't really depend on it like we were able to before. It could be significantly weaker. You know, whenever we tap into demand, some people have like a one tap rule and they're like done with that demand zone. I look for the full mitigation of the demand before considering it gone. So in this case, we've kind of like fully mitigated it. However, now we can just evolve it to like this here. So we can watch this potentially act as a form of support. Send it back. We have valley area high confluence. My next area of interest would be here. We have the 200-day EMA and the 50-day kind of catching up. Let's change these colors so they're more synced to the bias of what you'll be preparing for. I'll undo that move. There we go. Get our downtrending momentum. Okay. All right, so ARP is actually looking pretty good, honestly, in a macro sense. Like it's trying to like prepare for like a good reset for potentially coming back up. But if we lose this daily momentum and we have like a higher time frame change of character reaction, like a bearish change of character, then we could see it fall back down to like previous key areas of interest, like here, and potentially even the previous point of control down here. I got some hope for ARP. It looks like it will likely hold based on the current structure. Lots of demand and confluences that could hold it up, especially like that 200-day EMA. A lot of traders react off of that level. And right now our key level is here. It will likely evolve to a lower level soon. So what you want to see is something like this. Come up, sweep these lows, bounce off that previous value high, get that change of character here instead of here. Right? Instead of here, get it around here. That way you can enter along and then start coming after this liquidity along the way up. This area looks a little strong. You might have to watch out for potential opposing change of character that could put an end to your trade. If this does not hold, then our next level of interest for ARB is, like I said, down here. And you can anticipate that the momentum might maintain itself all the way down here. And this suggests that, like, based on the momentum in the negative space, that could take about 20 hours before we get that turnaround. If we lose this demand, then it could take about 2 days or so before we get the turnaround. So between 20 hours and a couple days, we'll have a potential reversal on ARB for a short-term long. And it could be a good, potentially a good front-run opportunity for the daily break of structure that we were talking about before, right? Because if we get that daily break of structure and you get it around here, you'll be pretty happy because we could end up getting that strong turnaround, break this down trending resistance here. But again, the same reason why you'd like want to prepare for shorts here being at a value area high, we gotta be cautious of this downtrending momentum. There could be a large amount of sell orders in the order book trailing this, right? And so you want to validate that first in the order books. And if there is a lot of orders ready to get out here, then yeah, just be cautious with your setup. You might have to take some profits. It might squeeze your way to a break to the downside. And that would correlate well with what's going on with UST dominance, because UST dominance right now is looking a little rough. If I go to my, I'm on the chart right now. I'm going to create a pre-chart before our next live so we can go over the dominance in the DXY a lot faster together. I used to have a really good one, and we can go back to doing that again. Let's see. Oh, auto just booted me up. So here, if we go to UST dominance, it's suggesting that, like, if we were to maintain the pace here of interest flowing out of USDT, we could see a decent pump coming up soon, right? But as soon as we break this momentum, then everything will start to fall, right? Because the flow of funds are going into USDT. But right now, it's kind of looks like we might be getting that. If we do get that bullish break, because everything that we were talking about yesterday in terms of like our measurable target, it's happened already. If we did get that break here, that change of character reaction on the daily for UC dominance, we could come up back up to this value area high, hit this like daily order block, and then come back down. And this would be short-term bearish for all of crypto, right? Because all the funds be flowing into USDT. What's next? Alex of Crypto is suggesting 500x leverage. What's up, man? Oh man, over $1 billion liquidated this from this drop alone. That's insane. And last time we had that was May 2021. It's insane. Bro, how'd you get those abs in the thumbnail? It's called Photoshop, bro. Just slide your head right on top of another person, you're done. Workout complete. But okay. What else you guys want to look at? I got about 8 minutes left. It's not very much time, but we can try rushing into something. 200 EMA, juicy area for spot bags. That's right, man. Yeah. Kyle is trading with leverage. 500x. Alex, have you watched Happy Gilmore 2 yet? Question from Perkle Yogurt there. Happy Gilmore 2, man. You could tell that they're trying to force the recreation of like previous events from the first movie, which is kind of funny in itself. Not what I expected though. Noah wants to look at Cardano. Let's take a peek. Seeing Eminem getting slaughtered by like alligators is pretty funny. So Cardano, oh yeah. Brian and I were talking about this. We had hit that key area of interest. We were talking about that during the live too. And we kind of like lost this like pennant posture. Let's see, I'll draw it out here. All right. And coming in from an uptrend like this, these do typically tend to break to the upside, but there's so much like external influence from Cardano that like Bitcoin and especially Bitcoin, like because Cardano has a lot of Bitcoin pairing liquidity. Like whatever Bitcoin does, Cardano kind of tends to follow once in a while. But yeah, right now it's looking weak. We are at this little demand zone now, but we fully mitigated it. We could get that turnaround. We can delete this. It's not helpful anymore. We could get that turnaround, but yeah, the measurable base target is suggesting that we can come down to like 79 cents again and tap the 50-day EMA. Let's see what happens. But we followed through on this measurable target like extremely well. Even went past it a little bit. Now we're getting like this head and shoulders kind of posture. And coming down to potentially retest this valley area high again. We do have a little demand here, but syncs well with these previous highs. So I'll just prepare for it to come down, like just tap this previous valley area high entirely. If we do get acceptance to that valley area, then I'll be looking for the confluence of this valley area low and the 50-day EMA for potential accumulation or buy opportunities or long opportunities there. We can delete this orange line. This was from our last trade. Actually, we'll just move it right here. And then we'll change the template to sync with our previous valley area low template. There we go. So yeah, acceptance into here, expect a rotation to here. Otherwise, expect a bounce potentially here at 81.68. We're still on our way down. When Cardano likes to trend, it'll do it for a while. So sometimes it'll just do a slow crawl down. So if I were to do the pathing tool, it would look something like potentially like this, similar to ARB, where it has like two key areas of interest that could induce a reversal. But if you want that better potential opportunity, then you got to hope for a return down here. those are the two carry areas that I'll look for an opposing change character on. No problem, man. Polka dot finally got below. What? Did she get below? I gotta take a look at what you're talking about. You said $0. I know that's a typo, but yeah, we lost momentum on dot. Never got that break that we kind of hopeful for. Where can we rotate this down to now for our change character on the 15? It would be here. So we're below the macro value area low. So historically, the best places to accumulate dot. We lost this uptrending momentum. I believe we were talking about that yesterday. That's been holding up since like $3.42. We had next big key area. And we got 366. $3.69. Still kind of getting that squeeze. Just need more structure to find a reversal. So yeah, if you're looking for accumulation, like macro, like we're already in a good spot. I can refine this. And I'll mark this low as well. Oh, my bad. See if we sweep this low. But yeah, it's close to that make it or break it kind of location. Being at a macro value area low like this, we see it act as a form of resistance. We'll likely come back down to like 364. If we get acceptance back inside this area, we'll have the simultaneous break of this downtrending momentum, and I'd be targeting this like $4 area again, which right now, yeah, the confluence of the previous point control, like the upper side of this liquidity here, this downtrending momentum. So if we do get that break, yeah, I'll be targeting around $4. Refine it to like 397. If you want to get that undercut to the POC. Not much. Link from Nazil. Then after Link, guys, I gotta head out. I gotta jump on a call with the community. Okay, yeah, last time we were looking at Link, we were looking at the sweeps of these highs for potential turnarounds. Looks like we broke past this one. And we came up, swept this high. What do we get to, like an hourly an hourly SFP. Let me sweep this out here. Close back inside the range. When it closes back inside the range with the body like this, a much higher likelihood of hitting its measurable target. With this candle, this will be your measurable target here. We surpassed that after losing momentum, and we're coming down now to our demand zone that we have drawn. We double bottomed here, but now we didn't really run up very far. We had another, like an internal SFP here, right? Oh, we didn't get the proper pullback. Let's see what we have. 15-minute. Yeah, about a 15-minute sweep. And came down. Where's our next key level? If we lose this, we got this previous valley area data here. Pretty much bounced off that point of control, that volume shelf, right? bounced off here, trying to hold us up. But if all we need is that break of structure, and then we'll have that acceptance to the value area again, we could fall back down to 23.35. The last time we came through here, though, it's a low volume sweep. Not very much key areas of interest that could hold us up. So I'll be looking at this as our next area of interest for supports right here. We do have an order block there as well. Send it back. I would recommend marking your previous value area data to see how we respond to it. There we go. We could leave this here as is. Got this awkward descending buyer's momentum. Starting to build like some divergence. See if this holds. Do we mitigate that? We tapped into it. But yeah, if this fails, if we can't get back above here and get that change of character, expect a potential change, break of structure that will induce acceptance of the value area and rotate back down here, get a bit of a deviation, and tap into this demand zone. This is where I prepare for longs again. Unless we get some structural evidence of support here. We had that SFP so far, but nothing I would personally take action on. It just seems like everything's kind of like pointing down. The majority of assets are like pointing down, looking for an area to fall down to, like find a floor. So as like, I would monitor Ethereum and Bitcoin the most right now and see where they are relative to your favorite like altcoin assets. And when they meet their key areas, like when Ethereum meets $4,000 or when Bitcoin meets 112K, then you can start looking at your alts again and see where they are relative to their positioning and prepare for their bullish structure to define when all your rules are met alongside Bitcoin and Ethereum. Then you'll be a lot more successful trading, knowing that you're going to have that on-chain influence from Bitcoin and Ethereum's pairing liquidity for your altcoins. So that's what I recommend for you guys. Just sit on your hands and just wait for that confluence from like Bitcoin and Ethereum. All right, guys, I got to head out. I got a community call. Reach out to me if you guys need help with anything. Hope you guys have an amazing day. I'll be live tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. Okay, Eastern. Appreciate everyone who's been sharing, liking, subscribing. We're starting to grow back up again. My goal right now is to get to 7,000 subscribers, and if we can get there before Friday, I will buy one of you guys I'll put you guys in a raffle for a free AliPal cold storage wallet. I'll buy you guys one a cold storage wallet. Rumor says Kyle's using dry rub. Like, I don't even know what. All right, see you guys. Looks like Kyle has been working out. I have been working out, yeah. Trying to get healthy again. Appreciate you noticing. Yeah, getting there, slowly getting there. My one ab is slowly turning into 6 again. All right.